What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? How is everybody today that's on Zoom that can say something? What's up? How are we, everybody? Anybody? Oh man, we lost Ian. All right. If you guys can do me a favor real quick and just jump in the chats and try and get some of our trade family on real quick.
Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
You can
You're
hear
back.
me? Okay, good. I've had issues with my Zoom all day long.
Yeah. All right. So, gonna go for it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hello. Thank you for tuning in today, tonight, wherever you are in the world. What's up, Jill? Good to see you. Let's see here. We're gonna talk today about something I think is really cool, but I'm still in the process of understanding, which is the law of vibration. Or not the law of vibration, the law of attraction. Kind of go hand in hand with each other, but we're going to talk about the law of attraction tonight. So, if you can do me a favor and if you jump on, let me see if I can make somebody. Ian, if anybody jumps on, mute them. Thank you. You're co-host now. All right. So we're going to talk about the law of attraction and kind of my take on it and what I understand about the law of attraction. So stick with me and take some notes. If there's anything that you guys want to chime in, write it off to the side. And then towards the end of this, I would love to hear from you. Or if you have any questions, let me know. This is mostly information that I'm getting from Bob Proctor, one of my really, really big mentors in a lot of universal laws and stuff. He does a lot of research on this. He has like 62 years of experience on this. So this is all he does and all he teaches. So we're going to talk about A-type goals, B-type goals, and C-type goals. So an A-type goal would be going after what you already know what you can get. An A-type goal would be something that you've already done before in the past, so you already know how to get it. That would be an A-type goal. So a B-type goal would be doing something that you think you can do, and you have a roadmap on how you're going to do it. And then C-type goals is going to be something that you're going for, like a dream, but you don't know how you're going to get there, but you know that you're going to achieve it. Okay, so 3 different types. So goals should be, with A-type goals, and you're going after something that you already know what you're doing, you can't really consider that a goal. That's just like a repeat of something that you've already done. So you can't really call it a goal because it's already an achieved goal. It's just like a repeated goal, So goals should be something that allows us to bring the best out of us. So with that makes total sense to me, and hopefully that makes sense to you. That's the best way that I could put it, is goals should be something that allows us to bring the best out of us. So without goals, you can't move to the next level. You can't advance to wherever you want to go, and you can't, feel better about yourself without goals. Because if you don't plan something for a goal, then it's just something that you achieve, and you might not have a lot of gratitude for it. So that's something that I would like for you guys to do is every time I get on here, I talk about 300 goals. One of my mentors talks about writing down 300 goals, and you should be progressively writing them down over and over and over and over. Not the same goal over and over, but the same, adding to it. So if you get 300 goals and you achieve all 300, the goal is to keep adding goals so you never run out of goals. You try and sustain yourself at 300 goals. Okay. Is it hard to do? Yeah, it's very hard to do. But if you start now and you start, finding yourself crossing off those goals, they can be simple goals, they can be hard goals, they can be, something down the road, but they need to be something, give yourself a realistic time frame. Don't tell yourself that you're going to get, something unrealistic in an unrealistic amount of time. Make that goal something that's going to be in realistic time, but put a timestamp on it. Put some type of timestamp on it so there's urgency behind it. Okay. In those 300 goals, it could be something for, every single day to do, and do it for a week, or something that you're going to do every single month for a year. That's what I mean by putting a timestamp on it. If you say that you're going to tell somebody that they're beautiful every single day of your life, you're never going to cross off that goal, because you're always going to have people that you're going to tell that to. So you have to have some type of timestamp on it so you can cross it off. One of the biggest goals that I had set myself, and I know some of you guys had been on that call when I did, it was probably like a year ago from today. I made a goal that every time I woke up, I was going to make my bed, because I never did that. And it's a good way to train your mind on how to, attract those type of things in your life. How to attract goals is by setting small goals and then feeling accomplished by those goals that you set. If you have no, way of accomplishing something, you don't get that reward. So with every goal, try and find some type of reward with it. If it puts a smile on your face, or if it makes you feel good, make those type of goals so you have something that is going to be, coming back to you. If you don't reward yourself for what you do, then what are you doing? You have to have some type of reward, but don't make it to where it's a lazy reward. Okay, you can't always just have, something super easy and say, okay, well, I'm going to tell somebody, good job today, or give somebody a compliment today, and then I have the next 7 days and I don't have to do anything, and I get to be lazy and I get to sit on Netflix. That's not what I'm talking about. Your goals have to almost outweigh what you're going to give yourself as a reward, but also reward yourself for what you do. Reward yourself for waking up every day and actually being alive. There's a lot of people that don't get that. Some people, there used to be a post that I used to read all the time about, somebody that is flying a plane. There's somebody in a luxury car looking up at that plane or that jet saying, man, I wish I had a plane. But right next to the person that's in the nice car is in a beat up car looking at the nice car saying, man, I wish I had a luxury car. And right next to the beat up car is somebody on a bike asking, man, I wish I had a car. There's somebody that's walking on the street and said, man, I wish I had a bike. There's somebody that's sitting in a wheelchair next to somebody that's walking the street saying, man, I wish I could walk. Got some background noise. Well, I'll just pretend that they're woohooing me. But think about that, guys. Today, when I was driving home from a friend's house, I saw some people walking on the street, and I had my two bikes on the top of my car, and I was just noticing over and over and over as I'm passing people are staring at my car. I don't know if it looks weird that there's two bicycles on a Volvo. I don't know what it is, or if they're just, that's where it brought me back to. It brought me back to that appreciation of like, man, those people that are walking, Maybe that they're thinking, man, I wish I could afford a bike. I would really like to have a nice bike. I have a nice bike. That was one of my goals that I set for myself, is to get a nice mountain bike. And guess what? I never ride it. How is that rewarding? Now it just takes up space in my garage. Yeah, I got the goal, but I never followed up with what the goal had for a reward. I don't get to go out in the middle of nature, and instead of, a 4-mile hike could be an 8-mile bike ride in the same amount of time. I would see so much more of, some type of scenery with that. But I didn't follow through with what my appreciation was going to be, what the reward was going to be for me getting a bicycle. So when I was passing people today and I saw that, that's what it brought me back to, is, man, maybe they're just, not in like a resentful way, but I know some of us can relate. Pull up to a stoplight and somebody's driving a Lamborghini or a Maserati or even a Porsche or even just a brand new car, and you're like, man, I wish I had that. I wish I could do that. You can. You literally have everything inside of you to do those things, but every one of us comes up with the excuses, and everybody knows how to do better in life. You just decide not to. And I'm going to let that sink in a little bit, because I know that that's true. Because when I heard that, I even got a little bit guilt inside myself. And I was like, you know what? I know what I need to be doing to be better, to move forward, but I don't do it. And I know subconsciously that I don't do it. What can you do today that in 5 years you're going to look back and say, man, that was probably some of the hardest times of my life, but man, I'm glad I did it. When I was on the swim team in high school, I used to wake up 5 o'clock every single day and go to swim practice in Wyoming, of all places, and have to jump in a pool where the boilers would go out and it'd be 40 degrees in the water. And I remember vividly breaking through a sheet of ice and swimming in a pool with ice during the winter time. And I hated my life. That was the first time I was like, man, I hate swimming. I don't want to be here. I don't want to be doing this. After I get up early, I'd have an hour to 2 hour practice, and then I would go through school. I would get out, I would take a shower. And, when you swim for like 8 years of your life, it's impossible to get chlorine out of your body. It's like if you've ever noticed, whenever, you drink a lot, or if, you smoke a lot and you sweat so much that you can like smell it on yourself. That was me. Whenever I go to gym class after swim practice, I would sweat chlorine and it would just sting. Like my whole day would just be terrible. And then I would go to swim practice at night, and I had mornings and evening swim practice every single day. And on the weekends, man, like I didn't even have time for, I remember I would get home and I would just like pass out on the couch. And my mom and dad, like, bless their heart, they would literally carry me to bed a lot of nights. And there was a lot of times, I was really tired, but guess what? I look at that right now and I'm super grateful for what I did back then, because guess what? It shows me that, hey, it is possible for me to wake up at that time. It's possible for me to be working out that hard twice a day, going through school, getting an education, graduating high school, doing all those things. I did all that in my past, and I have a hard time doing it now. But when you look back on your past and say, well, I was already doing that, what kind of excuses can you come up with? And I know I know how to get there and I know how to do it. I just refuse to do it. I know all of us can agree that there has been some point that we've just told ourselves, all right, I'll just give myself, just a little extra sleep, or, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like doing it tonight. I don't feel like doing it tonight. Imagine if you just put a simple goal every single night. When you feel yourself getting tired or wanting to quit, you just tell yourself 15 more minutes. 15 more minutes and I can be done. That's a goal. Because guess what? If you wouldn't have set that, you would have quit right then. 15 extra minutes on something that you're working towards. Some of us on this call know how much that could mean. 15 more minutes on a Zoom call. How much more could that mean? 15 minutes until one candle closes. Some of us know what that means. 15 minutes. This candle's going to close. What's going to happen afterwards? So start to recognize A-type, B-type, and C-type goals. A-type goals are things that you already know how to do. You already educated yourself. You already know how to do it. Like breathing. We all know how to breathe. We all know how to take a breath, and we don't have to think about it. Even when I'm sitting here talking a million miles an hour, I'm breathing in the middle of all this, not even thinking about it. Some of us get up and walk and go to the bathroom. Some of us get up and walk to our car in the morning. Sometimes we drive to work or from home or drive in general, and we weren't even consciously there. Put a 5 in the chat if you've done that. You've been driving somewhere and all of a sudden you're like, get to the destination. You're like, how did I even get here? I don't even remember the drive. Here's the crazy thing. Have you ever recognized yourself when you stop at a stoplight and you didn't even recognize that it was a stoplight until you're finally stopped and you look up and say, man, I wasn't even paying attention, but I stopped at a stoplight. The funny thing is some of you guys laugh about that and say, man, I wonder what that's like. Well, you just admitted driving however far from your house to home doing that. You stopped at some point. You took a turn at some point. I mean, yeah, stopping somewhere and turning somewhere might not be, the same magnitude, but I mean, if you're not paying attention to where you're turning, there's plenty of curbs out there in the middle of medians or sections that you could smash into. There could be bicyclists crossing a street that you don't even see. So think about those things. A-type goals are things that you've already accomplished, things that you already know about. B-type goals are things that you are going for and you know how you're going to get there. You know they're going to be accomplished because you know the direction. You have the roadmap of how you're going to get there. And then there's C-type goals that you know what you want, you know where you want to go, you just don't know how to get there. But you know that it's going to happen. That's where the law of attraction goes into everything. When you know where you're going, but you don't know how to get there, all of us have already done that. We just haven't recognized it. We haven't actually wrote down a goal for something and crossed it off of our bucket list and said, I did that. I went to college, I got my degree, crossed it off of a book. You never did that. You just thought about it and said, man, I'm glad that's over. Holy crap. Like that was crazy semesters. I spent a bunch of money on this education. I'm just ready to go out there and start working and put my skills to the test. Some people go and work out and they don't even have goals for what they're working out for. You're just going there to exercise. You're not working out. What are you working towards? You're exercising out. You're not even working out because you're not working towards something. Think about it. Some people that go to the gym, what are the common things that you find in gym? Why are you here? I want to get in better shape. I want to lose weight. But how defined are you with the goals that you're setting? I want to lose 10 pounds in a month. I want to be able to run a 4-minute mile in 3 months. I want to be able to deadlift 300 pounds. I want to be able to bench 250 pounds. You got to be very, very strategic with the goals that you set. You have to set them properly and put a time frame on them. If you set a goal to, step 5 times forward, how many times have you stepped 5 times forward and not scratched off a goal for it? You could sit in a chair for the next 5 years. There are people that do that. If you haven't been on Netflix, there is a show about people that have not walked in years. And they're crazy obese. So yes, it's possible for you to set a goal and never do it because you don't set a time frame on it. If you don't set a time frame on it, then you don't put the urgency of how important it really is to get that goal. That's where your why comes into the law of attraction. Why are you doing it? Why are you trying to attract that type of skill in your life? Why? Why do you want it? What is it going to do for you? If you don't understand why you're doing it, then why even do it? Think about that. You go to a job every single day and don't know why you're there, but you still go. So why not set a goal to set yourself up to take you out of that job because you don't understand why you're going to the job in the first place? Well, Lucas, I don't have time to do anything else. What about now? How about now? You're sitting at home. You don't have anything to do. Do something that's going to push you forward. Start setting the goals now. Here's a totally different dynamic thing. This whole virus thing isn't going to last forever. You're not going to have all the time in the world to figure out what you want to do with your life. Because guess what? Everything's going to come right back to reality. What you call reality. What some of us call reality. What if you make yourself, people always say, well, there's always that reality check, Lucas. What if you keep yourself so busy that you are unable to have a reality check? You know that's possible, because a reality check is when you finally become complacent and you become aware and conscious of what's actually happening. What if you get wrapped up in so much of what you want to do with your life and your dream that there is no possible way that reality is going to set in? And the only time that reality finally sets in, it's the reality that you've created for yourself because you've been visualizing it, writing it down, crossing off goals, moving in that direction, so you finally start living in the reality that you are meant to be in. Think about that for a change. Everybody's wondering when they're going to go back to work. What do you have to look for? Here's something you should do. Make a couple of goals on that what you want to do in your life, and then make the goals that you want to accomplish when you go back to work and see which one's bigger. Then you can tell yourself which one's more important. You living your life, or you going back to a job that is going to have not enough goals for you to be. I just talked to a friend just recently. He said, man, I've been busting my ass so hard, so long to just be complacent. And that I was like, man, it made me think about what I'm doing. Are you doing stuff to be complacent, or are you doing stuff to make yourself extraordinary? Give yourself permission. One of my mentors says, give yourself permission to be successful. Give yourself permission to do what you want to do. Nobody else has to give you permission. Everybody hesitates on what they want to do in life because they think that they have to have somebody's permission. You don't have to have anybody's permission but yourself. And if you hold yourself back and you don't give yourself permission, you're never going to do it. Tell yourself, I'm giving myself permission to be wealthy. I'm giving myself permission to do what I want to do with my life. I'm giving myself permission to do this. You have to start visualizing and thinking about it and being grateful for everything, because gratitude creates all kinds of different emotions. You think that gratitude is just happiness. Everybody can be happy to see a family member. Have you ever had that moment where you have to literally contain your happiness because you don't want to look like a fool in front of people, before you're like, all right, I got to hold this in. I got to walk outside. I'm going to go behind this big bush and where nobody can see me, and I'm just going to scream as loud as I can. Have you had moments like that? Guess what? You just literally identified what you're doing wrong. You're containing in, and you're not giving yourself permission to be happy what you're doing because you're so overwhelmed by the fact of what other people are going to think you're doing. You're holding in that emotion of gratitude because you think that somebody else is going to judge you. So now you've given somebody else permission about your gratitude in life. What you can be grateful for is based off of other people. Just based off of some of your guys' looks, that tasted disgusting. You're like, I don't like that, Lucas. I don't like that. But no. Guys, that face that you made says everything about you. Says what your first goal needs to be. That's a C-type goal. Man, I don't know how to put my emotions aside of what people think of me. But I know that there's a way to do it. Guess what? There's a C-type goal. You know there's a way that you can accomplish it. You know that where you're going, you just don't know how to get there. YouTube is a great thing, guys. I don't think YouTube gets enough credit for what it actually does. Yeah, is there going to be different type of, people that are going to, feed you BS and like not the real story? Yes. But guess what? If you never do your research on there, you're never going to find out who those people are. I use YouTube for everything. When I start feeling some type of emotion, I literally search it on YouTube. I know some of you have heard me say that. I have literally searched it on YouTube. I'm not even joking. How do I deal with anxiety? YouTube it. How do I deal with not being sure about how to make a decision? Good decision-making skills. YouTube, searched it. And guess what they all do? Write down how you're feeling. Write down what's making you have anxiety. Write down it. Everything is about writing stuff down. Write down the goals. Carry a book around with you. Carry a goal card with you. Where are you trying to go? Start living life instead of just letting life allow you to live. Think about that. Are you just living or are you making a life? You have everything to be successful. You really do. You have everything to accomplish any goals that you have. All you have to do is give yourself permission and do it. You know what you need to do. For whatever goal you're going for, you know what you need to do better. You're just not allowing yourself to do better. I think that's a powerful point. That's something that it still doesn't taste right to me when Bob Proctor tells me it. It's like, man, stop hurting my feelings, Bob. But guess what? I wouldn't know unless somebody said something. You guys wouldn't have this disgusting look on your face or this disgusting taste about what I just said if I wouldn't have got on here and said it. Who knew you were going to be here? Who knew I was going to be here? It's just, man, like, if you want to give yourself perspective in life, call people that you used to know or call people that you haven't talked to in a long time and have a conversation. I'm finding that out right now, that you get a whole lot more perspective in life when you talk to those people. I'm telling you. I said it, I don't know, maybe 4 weeks ago when this whole Corona thing had started. Reach out to some people. Reach out to family members. Reach out to friends. You have time right now to restructure some relationships that you feel like you might need to. But guess what? If you find out that you reach out to some people and they don't want to reach back to you, guess what? You already now know, man, I can finally be a little bit easy about me not giving them a little bit of my attention because guess what? It didn't matter in the first place to them. Can some of us agree there's some people that you're like, man, I haven't talked to in a long time. I'm kind of maybe a little bit intimidated to talk to them, or maybe they don't even want to talk to me. Make the effort to go and just talk to them. Establish some communication. Because some of that stuff you might just be right. You haven't talked to them in a long time. They're going to be salty about it and they don't want to talk to you. Guess what? At least now you know. Some people might be somebody that might take you to the next level in life. How do you know? You haven't talked to them in so long. What if you picked up the phone and some Joe Schmo from Oklahoma and said, hey, man, how are you? I haven't talked to you for so long. And they said, oh, dude, I've been doing this thing with, real estate, blah, 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 blah. Man, like, I could help you get involved in that. Well, who would have known? I just talked to somebody. Some of you guys know, some of you guys don't. I trade Forex. I'm finding out that there's some people that I used to talk to that are trading Forex. And guess what? Dude, I don't really know what I'm doing. I have an outlet of offering something to them that's going to help them. You know how good that feels? To be able to tell somebody, hey, I have a solution. I have a solution to your problem. What if let's get a little bit deeper in this. What if your phone call to somebody was the reason that they took a gun out of their mouth? Think about that. What if your phone call was the deciding factor for somebody to take their life? Because nobody else had thought for a second to reach out to that person that they haven't talked to in years. And maybe you're not the only one that hasn't reached out to that person. Maybe nobody has reached out to that person. And you come out of the light and say, hey, I just want to check on you and see how you're doing. I know it's been a long time. I just got busy. But now that you have the excuse now. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. You have the excuse now. I've been so busy, wrapped up in life. And now that life has literally took a pause, I want to take this time and reach out to people. That could be your excuse. I've used it. It's worked wonderfully for me to talk to some people. Hey, yeah, I've been busy too. I'm sorry I haven't reached out. Hey, it's okay. At least we know. I'm starting to find, talk to some other people about their goals. If you're having a hard time finding 300 goals, talk to people about their goals. They might tell you a goal they have that you're like, wow, I like that goal. I'm going to write that down. There has to be kind of a point that you put your life on pause for a second from everything and think about yourself. What do I want? Where do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? What do I want to be driving? Where do I want to live? How do I want to eat? Do I really want to mow my lawn for the rest of my life? Do I want to move somewhere where I don't have a lawn? Do I want to, bless somebody to come and do lawn care for me? I used to be a person that was like, man, you can't clean up your house. You can't do this for yourself and you have to pay somebody to do it. And now I'm the person that's like, wow, you're paying somebody to do something for you. So you're creating income for somebody. Perspective change. Think about it. Perspective change. All right. So I have some other notes here, mostly like captions and stuff. Hang on one second. Let me do something real quick. Okay, so some others cut here. All right. So here's another thing that you guys, I feel like a lot of us need to work on. Report cards. Write down report cards. What is your report card? And how do you look at your report card? What do you think that your report card is? We all laugh. I know, it's funny, but there's a point. Do you ever look at your bank account like a report card of how well you're doing in life? Why do you do that? Why do we all do that? Bob Proctor said that we allow the report cards to tell us the kind of students we are. Why do we do that? We allow the report card to tell us what kind of student we are. Some of my trading family on here, that's your brokerage account. Why do you allow your account to tell you what kind of student you are? Why are you doing that to yourself? You're allowing that to tell you what kind of student you are. You know how many people have gone in to go to like school and stuff, and they failed and they got kicked out of school, and now they're crazy successful in life? There's a lot of people out there that do that. This is not me like encouraging to like drop out of school and become phenomenal in your life, but guess what? If that's what it takes, do it. But make the decision for you. Don't say Lucas on his motivation call on YouTube said, I need to quit my job and become phenomenal, and I failed miserably. You allowed yourself to. I didn't have anything like that. You knew what it took to get to that point, but you didn't do it. We all know that. Please put a 7 in the chat if you believe that. You know what it takes for you to be successful. You're just not doing it. You know what you should be doing. You're just not doing it. Be honest with yourself. And if you can literally tell yourself, I'm doing everything I can, I applaud you. I really do. Because guess what? On the other side of me saying, you know what you should be doing, you're just not doing it, there's people out there that are doing what they should be doing and they're getting what they deserve. Can we agree? As hard as that is to kind of accept that, one of my mentors just talked about that. Some of us were fortunate enough to be on that call. He did one of his millionaire mindset calls, and that's what he talks about. I had everything in front of me to be successful. I just wasn't putting in the work, and I knew I wasn't putting in the work. So by default, the universe is going to tell you, why should I give you this when you're not deserving of it? You're only given what you're deserving of. And if you can't agree to yourself that you know what you should be doing to be deserving, but you're not doing it, that's why you're not getting what you want. It's true. There's no like science behind it. I mean, think about it. You know deep down, I'm speaking the truth. And if you're rejecting it, that's your choice. But tell your conscious mind to get out of the way so your subconscious mind can start learning some new habits. Because can you be honest with yourself? The habits that you already have are not the best ones, or else you'd be in a different position. Every goal and everything that you want to get works with the law of attraction, but the law of attraction works off of frequency. Every goal that you're going for is on a certain frequency, and if you don't match that frequency, you're not going to get that goal. Look at all the people that are doing what you want to do. What frequency are they on? What habits do they have? What type of dedication do they put in? How much discipline do they have? Think about for a second that maybe those people aren't just doing that because it's what they want to do. They're doing that because they know that that's what gave them the deserving factor of what came into their life. They know that I have to do this, this, and this every single day because this is what it's given me. And if you can do that for yourself, then yeah, you're going to be rewarded over and over and over. But guess what? You're going to be rewarded the same way over and over and over. The only way for you to change your results is to change your frequency. You have to match the frequency. So I push and push and push and tell you guys, look up the law of attraction, study it, figure it out. It is a real thing. As much as it might seem as like some hocus pocus scientific jumbo, I'm telling you, the deeper you get into this for the law of attraction or universal laws, honestly, the scarier it gets. It really does. So, does anybody have anything to add? Any questions? Anything they want to say? I want to kind of cap it right at 8:45 because I'm trying to be punctual now because I got to get in that habit for the future. I'm finding out. So 8:45 on the dot. Questions, comments, what do you guys got for me? Does anybody want to add something? Does anybody want to share anything? I'm as much as a student as everybody else on here. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about? Oh man, I have 9 things in it. Ooh, somebody. Oh wait. For participants, does it count me as one? Does it count me for one? Okay, so, all right. So everybody was brutally honest with themselves, beside myself. Here, there. All right. Just like you guys, all right? For the people that are watching from some other country, just like you, man. You just might have an accent or I might have an accent. That's the only difference. Kenny, I'm loving the backgrounds. They can't see your comments. Well, that's okay. All right. Anybody have anything they want to say? Anybody want to like deny what I said and start an argument? I'm open for that too. Honestly, I don't even care. I'm good with it. Because guess what? I won't even argue with you. I'll just be open to your opinion.
Thank you for the time tonight.
Yes, sir.
Apologize for being late.
Oh, you're good. Thought it was just gonna be me. I was like, geez, just me and Sam. I was like, well, he's gonna get a lot of knowledge by himself. But guys, look up the law of attraction. I'm telling you, that is, I know. Have any of you guys really looked into the law of attraction? Put a 2 if you've looked into the law of attraction at all. All right. If you haven't, YouTube, law of attraction, I would go straight to Bob Proctor. That's just personal opinion. This guy's been doing it for 62 years. So, I mean, who do you want to listen to? But guess what? If you like what Bob Proctor has to say, imagine having personal mentorship from him. Ooh. Think about that. That'd be cool. All right. I do too. Kenny's got personal mentorship. What? I know Randy does. Donna's got personal mentorship. Sam's got personal. Gilbert, Jill. All right, guys. If anybody doesn't have any questions or anything, I am going to wrap it up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning on. YouTube, thank you. Like, share, subscribe. My page is finally up after a brutal 3 weeks of not having it. It's okay. One of my other, business colleague mentors finally kicked me in the rear, and I had to go over and do our quarantine party to set up my YouTube. So, hey, we are 6 feet, all right? If the government's listening, we are 6 feet apart. Okay. But thank you guys. I hope everybody has a phenomenal evening, and I will talk to you next week.